welcome to the Confidence Igniter podcast, the podcast that was designed to take you from basic to brilliant. And I'm your host. My name is Tamyko Green. Well, I am excited about today's show. Not only am I excited about today's show, but I'm also excited because we have 1 week. This is the final week before the Confidence Igniter, which is this Saturday coming up, May 10th, from 2 to 6 p.m. I truly hope that you are able to come out and join us. I think it is, well, not that I know it's going to be an amazing event. So I really hope to see you there in Marietta, like I said before, and I will announce again at the end of this video, at the end of this podcast, is if you go to my website, tamykogreen.com, you will see the information. I really hope to see you in the place. Well, with that being said, boy, you in for a really good show today. So, you know how I do it. I always like to start off with a question where I can and when I can. So, my question to you today is, how would you feel if you ordered something, let's say from Amazon, and the package never showed up? I mean, like, I'm sure you will probably get on the phone, call Amazon, or go to your little Amazon portal, whatever you need to do, but you're going to find out, like, why didn't my package show up, right? Well, how about if you were going on vacation? Yeah, you was going to, let's say, Thailand, because I hear it is very beautiful in Thailand. So say you decided to take a trip, vacation to Thailand, and you got all the way to the airport. You had your luggage, you're excited, you done check your bags, you get to the gate, and then you find out the plane ain't even there. So you're like, okay, maybe it's going to be delayed a little bit. So you sit, you wait 30 minutes before it's time for you to board. You hear over the PA system, the plane is not going to show up. Wow. Now I know you probably will be like, hey, what's going on? When is the plane coming? Is there another gate? Do you all have another plane that we can get on? And everybody's standing here waiting. Now there's panic. People are upset. It's like, hey, this guy or this captain, lady or male was supposed to show up, but they didn't. So I'm sure you know what the topic is tonight. Yes, the topic for tonight is show up. See, it's important to show up. And I'm not just talking about a package from Amazon or showing up for the captain to show up with the aircraft when you're going on vacation. Yes, all of that is important. But it's also equally important that we show up for ourselves. I'm going to say that again. It is equally important that we show up for ourselves because sometimes we don't show up. And let me tell you, I'm talking to those that don't show up for themselves. Now, I'm sure somebody might be out there saying, you know what, she got a lot of nerves because I show up for myself. Okay, then I'm not talking to you. But I do thank you for listening. I'm actually talking to the ones that don't show up for themselves. See, a lot of times we'll show up for everyone else. We'll show up for our children if we have them. We'll show up for relatives if we have them. We'll show up for our spouses if we have one. And we'll also show up for our friends. We even show up on the job. But a lot of times we forget to show up for ourselves. So you might be saying to yourself, well, if I show up on the job, I did show up on myself. For myself. Well, yeah, you did in one sense. But think about this. How about if you had a gift, a talent, a goal that was outside of your job? Are you showing up then? Because truly at that point, if you got a gift, a goal, a talent, something that is outside of your job becomes your investor that's funding your gift, your talent, your goal when you show up for yourself. See, it's in the showing up that things happen. And I understand sometimes, you might be thinking, well, it's kind of hard to show up because I got so many things that I'm doing for someone else. I have all of this stuff that I'm doing for someone else. And by the time I want to do something for myself, I can't because I done ran out of time. But the truth of the matter is that's when boundaries need to be created. See, we must create boundaries for ourselves so that way we can make sure that we're able to show up. If I didn't have some kind of boundaries or some type of put some limits on myself, guess what? I probably wouldn't show up for this podcast. And even if that means being proactive, in many cases I am. I'm proactive. These are recordings, so I record ahead of time. Just in case something come up, and I can't show up the day I actually want to, well, guess what? I've already recorded my show. So guess what? All I got to do is send it out or pre-post it. So when we show up for ourselves, though, we actually send a message out into the universe to other people to say, hey, I'm showing up for me. So if you tell me you're going to do something for me or with me, then I need you to show up, because you know how it is. We won't show up for ourselves sometimes, but then when other people let us down, when they tell you they're going to do something and don't do it, then we get upset. So then I always say, how many times have you ever said to yourself that you were going to do something? You was going to show up for yourself. You was going to show up and get more training or whatever it is that you made an agreement or a commitment to yourself to show up for. Because if you don't show up for yourself, you cannot get mad when don't nobody else show up for you. But I know out of human nature, we do. We get mad at other people. Like, it's like, man, you let me down. Really? Have you ever let yourself down? Now, I'm not talking at you. I'm talking to you, because I know I let myself down. So I sometimes fall in that boat too. See, a lot of times I have to find myself saying, hey, you know what? You're doing everything for everyone else. Which sometimes, you get a little frustrated when you got things that you need to do. And because you've given all of your time away, it's not that you didn't want to do it. It's just that it made it because you put too many things on your plate that you could not do it. And I tell myself all the time, hey, you got to set boundaries. You got to set boundaries in order to live the life that you want to live your best life. See, if you, and I'm not saying that those that are watching don't like the life that you're living. I'm not saying that, but you know what? Even a pencil can be sharpened a little bit more. I'm going to say that again. You can even sharpen a pencil a little bit more. It can get a little bit sharper. So even in our own life, yeah, you may be good right now. You may be in the comfort zone, but I can guarantee you ain't nothing in the comfort zone but comfort. Okay. And in order to go where it is that you truly want to go in life, or reach the heights in life that you really want to reach, you're going to have to stretch. And that requires you to show up. That requires you to show up for things. It requires you to show up for events, and show up for people, show up for yourself. And when I say show up for people, I mean, if someone has invited you to something that is going to stretch you and take you to that next level in your life, then you have to show up. You have to show up. Okay, unless something happens, then I do understand, because there are times that, I be wanting to show up for something, and something that is out of my control. And there will be those times when you want to do something, but it's just out of your control. So it's just kind of hard for you to show up. But there's power in showing up. I'm telling you, there is power in showing up. Why is that? Because when you show up, you never know who's going to show up also. You never know. If you're working on something and you're trying to figure out, like, man, how I'm going to get from point A to point B, but see, you showed up at point A, and yet you didn't even know who was going to be at point B to take you to that next level. But because you showed up, because you've been working on yourself, someone showed up for you and said, hey, I'm going to take you to the next level. See, when you least expect it, that's when things start to happen, when you show up. That's why I said it's so important for you to show up for yourself. To show up for yourself means a lot, because what does that say? It says that you are taking time out for you. You took out the time to say, you know what? I know I give my service or time to other people, but today it's about me. It's about doing what I need to do to get to where I want to go. And maybe sometimes just showing up for yourself means just taking some time out and relaxing. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're taking this time out because you got to do something else. It could just mean you having a mental health moment. Okay, you're just going to take some time out just to be able to relax and able to enjoy you, or be able to take a nice hot bath, whatever it is that you need in order to regroup, in order to reset yourself. Okay, in order to take a look at your life, just to see where it is that you want to go in life, just to see what it is that you really want to be or what you really want to do. just showing up for yourself. And I know a lot of times, or I won't say a lot of times, but sometimes people think, well, showing up mean, I got to do this, I got to do that, I got to. No, 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 no. I'm talking about showing up just for yourself, showing up just for yourself, showing up just so that you can have some time for you. Maybe just showing up and read a good book if you're into reading, or listen to some jazz if you like jazz, or whatever you like. Maybe you just like, I don't know, whatever you like, but just show up for yourself because it's powerful. That means you're doing some me time. Because I'm going to tell you, I know myself. I give a lot of time to helping others, and I love it. I always say, I feel like one of the reasons I came to earth was to serve. And sometimes I get to the point that I be so busy serving others that I don't take time out for myself. So when I'm telling you to show up and the power in showing up, yeah, I'm telling myself the same thing. I'm telling myself that it's important that we do show up. We do show up for ourselves. And I can't stress that enough. You might be saying, my goodness, she keeps saying show up. Yes, it's kind of like tying your shoes. Okay. If you tie your shoes one time, you don't get it. When you first learn how to tie your shoes, if you tied your shoes one time, I guarantee you probably end up having to try it again until you get it. It's repetition. It's until you get it. Because if you're saying, she just keeps saying it, she just keeps saying it, yes, because I'm sending a message and it's sending a message to you to show up. It's like a baby walking. That baby walk one time and they fall down, and if they say forget it, they have to keep doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And sometimes we need to be reminded of some things. Sometimes we need to be reminded not to leave ourselves out. Sometimes we need to be reminded to include ourselves. Because when you always doing for someone else, when you always giving all of your time to someone else, guess what? You're not including yourself. Now, you may think that you're including yourself because you're in the midst of whatever it is that you're doing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're including yourself, because it could mean you're helping someone, yes. But maybe there's something else that you needed to do, that you wanted to do for yourself, but because that you were so busy helping them, you never got the chance, you never got around to helping yourself. So you couldn't show up. Because when we show up, we grow. And not just showing up any kind of way, right? Because we have to show up with a particular type of attitude. You got to show up with an attitude that know that there's something great. Because some people might say, well, I do show up, but nothing ever happened. Well, yeah, check your attitude. Okay. Is everything is upstairs. So how are you showing up mentally? Are you showing up with, well, you know what? I showed up last week, did nothing happen. I showed up yesterday, did nothing happen. And I'm going to show up today. And guess what? Ain't nothing going to happen too. Yeah, guess why? Because you've already told your mind that every time you show up, nothing ever happens for you. And so guess what your mind said? Okay, well, we're going to make sure nothing happens for them, because they've already told me that every time they show up, nothing ever happened. So your mind cannot make nothing happen, because you've already set the stage that when I show up, and here's why I don't show up, because nothing ever happens. And the things that do happen, it ain't things that I want to happen anyway. So then the question becomes, what do you want to happen in your life? Because show up for that. That's what you show up for. What is it that you truly desire in life? What is it truly that you want out of life? What is it that you want to give back to life? Because life is not just about taking. It's not just about how much can I take out of life. It's also about what can I give to life. Okay, what part of me, my talent, my gift, what part of me can I give? And that's why it's so important for us to show up for ourselves, so we can take time out, so we can be able to look at that particular talent or that gift that we have. Not just look at it, but recognize that, you know what, I got this gift, I got this talent, and if I sharpen it, man, what could I do? What could I become? How would my life change? See, if you're into sports, the only reason why you keep watching whatever sports you like, whether it's football, baseball, or basketball, is because all of those players show up for themselves. They show up for the team, but they show up for themselves first. Because I guarantee you, if they stop showing up for themselves, you probably wouldn't even watch sports. You'll be like, really? Y'all getting paid to do this, really? And you ain't even good no more. So think about that. Think about if you were to start showing up and training whatever it is that you want to do. Because I truly believe each of us got something we want to do. Okay. Now I could be wrong though. But I said I believe. I'm not saying that it's so. It's so for me. Because I can't think of one person that don't want something out of life, and want to be something great. I mean, or do something great because you're already great. It's just a matter of letting that greatness shine through. And so I can't think of one person that would be like, you know what, I'm just here. I'm just here waiting for the time to pass. That like that old song, sitting on the dock of the bay, watching the time roll away. I don't know nobody that's doing that. Now I'm not saying there's not people out there that are not doing that, but I'm saying I don't know nobody that's sitting on the dock of the bay watching the time roll away just so they can just step out of life. Okay. Most people do want something, but they don't know how. Some of them, a great deal of people do. But I'm saying those that don't. So that's who I'm talking to, those that don't. But one of the things that you got to do is show up for yourself. You got to first show up, spend some quiet time with yourself, spend some time with yourself, figuring out what it is that you really want to do so you can show up for that. Because I'm telling you, your life would be so different. Don't even look at, well, you know what, I'm too old, or, people, I don't have nobody support me. Because let me tell you, if Colonel Sanders had looked at his age and said, you know what, I'm almost 70 years old and I don't even know if I'm gonna make it. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, he gets a franchise. His business go, as we say, viral. Okay, I know internet wasn't then. I understand that, but it's still like he ended up becoming really big. His chicken got known. Okay. Not, I mean, it's chicken, but it was the Colonel's way. So what would you like to do your way? See, because when we get caught up in age and what other people say about you or what you can't do, you know what? Let me tell you something. That's what caused us to sit down versus standing up. That's what caused us to say, forget it. As long as you got breath in your body, you got a chance. Every day that you wake up is a gift. What you do with it is up to you. If you throw the gift away, that's up to you. But keep this in mind. Life is live forward. The only thing you can do in life backwards is think about what you did that you enjoyed or what you did that you didn't enjoy. That's the only thing you can do. You can't change that. You can't go back to that day and change none of that. All you can do is live for this moment moving forward. That's all you have. You don't have the luxury of going back and say, you know what? I'm going to change some things that I did. I'm just going to go back there and change that thing. You can't do that. All you can do is show up for yourself now. All you can do is say, you know what? Starting this moment, this very moment, I'm going to make some bold moves. Yes, I'm going to make some bold moves. I'm going to be fearless. I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to do some things that I've always wanted to do and just never felt like I had it in me to do it. No, I'm going to be bold about it. Okay, I'm not going to worry about what people think about me, what they say about me, because guess what? Whatever they say about you ain't keeping your oxygen going, and whatever they say, negative nor positive, neither one is going to keep your oxygen going. Okay, that's not in their hands. But what's in your hands is the ability to move, the ability to show up, the ability to be bold, fearless, courageous, and do what it is that you desire to do, what you were sent to this earth to do. If you know, and if you don't, spend some time with yourself. Show up in your quiet space for you. And then when you find out, become ambitious, no matter what. Keep going. It doesn't matter what your age is. It doesn't matter what your color is, because those are all things that matter to society. But you can't live your life based upon society. You got to live your life based upon what you know about yourself. And what I know about you is that you are great. You are good. Okay, you are better than good. And that's what I know about you. And you might say, well, how does she know that? I don't even know her. No, but I know me. And God didn't make no junk. That's how I know how good you are. Because he said in his word that everything he made was good. And when he came down to man, it was very good. That's why I said that you're better than good. Spend some time with yourself. Become bold. Become ambitious. And be resilient no matter what. See, let me tell you something. When you decide that you're going to show up for yourself, you're going to hit some challenges. But it's okay. It's okay, because they're not there for you to go back and make a decision to go sit back on the sofa and say, forget it, because it ain't working. No, that's not why those challenges are showing up. They're showing up to help you to grow. See, those are building muscles, faith muscles at that. Because when challenges come, and they will come, you got to know how to either maneuver around them or go through them. Because sometimes there ain't no maneuvering around it. Sometimes you just got to go through. But when you show up for yourself, you already know that, you know what, I got this. I can do this. Because you was built for it. And guess what? If you're in this season, you're living at this time, you were built to last for this moment. So I say to you today, show up for yourself. Show up for you. Show up for, if you got children, guess what? When you show up for you, you showing up for them. You showing them that, you know what? You can do it. Because we tell our children all the time how great they are, or what they can do, that all things are possible. And they are. They are possible. So living your best life is possible, but the only way it's possible is that you got to show up for yourself. That's what makes it possible. See, you can change anything, but it starts with changing you. And unless you're willing to take time out to change you can't change nothing else, because it starts with you. Just like they tell you when you're on an aircraft, if the cabin starts to lose pressure, it tells you when the mask drops, put your oxygen on first, then help someone else. So what they said is, show up for yourself by putting on the oxygen mask, then help someone else, but take care of you first. Well, this has been the message in the podcast for this day. Show up. Yes, show up. But before I leave, I want to remind you about the Confidence Igniter Conference that is coming up here on Saturday, May 10th, Mother's Day weekend. I know there's some mothers out there listening. You definitely want to be in the house. Yes, Mother's Day weekend, May 10th, from 2 to 6 p.m. Yes, in Marietta, Georgia, right there on Canton Road. Now, you can always go to my website, TamykoGreen.com, www.tamykogreen.com. And I really hope that you be there. And it's free. Yeah, I did say free. Yep. But we are accepting donations, so we'll be able to give back to help those that are in need of food, or that just in need. Yes. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed the show. And please do not forget to like, subscribe, and share. Until we meet again, you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.